and welcome to another day of Spookmas! Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I am going to show you all of the really cool oddities and strange things. Well, not strange. Well, I mean, I'm strange. So, things I found at this epic estate sale a few weeks ago. Everything is an oddity, and if you are into spooky, cool then this is your video. Let's get into it, shall we? So if you don't follow me on Instagram, highly suggest that you do, because I found this crazy estate sale that I went to and I bought so many things from this estate sale that make me so happy, and they are eclectic and kind of strange. When I pick up the item and talk about the item, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a backstory about the item and like what it means to me that I got these things. So, highly suggest to grab a snack or something to drink, sit down, relax, because this is gonna be a long one. So the first two items that I got are these horses. This is a Breyer horse, this brown one, and this one is not. If you are a weird horse girl at heart, you'll know what I'm talking about when I just say a Breyer horse. But the funny part about this horse is a long time ago, I got myself in a situation where I had to sell all of my Breyer horses because I had a huge collection of them. I unfortunately had to sell all of them, which broke my heart. The reason why this horse is such a significance is because my grandfather, who I talk about all the time if you've been around my channel or watched me, every year for my birthday as a child, he would get me one of these because I was a weird horse girl, right? And so I didn't like dolls, I didn't like plain Barbie, I wanted horses. I wanted Breyer horses. They were, and probably still are, really expensive to have, and one year my grandpa got me this one. This one is a little different color, but the horse that he got me was still this color. The mane, I think, was maybe black, and around the ankles are black, and the tail was black, but it was this horse. And when I got myself into that sticky situation, I had to sell my Breyer horses, and I decided that I had to sell this one as well, the one that looked like this. And I cried, and it was a big emotional thing, and I thought to myself, I'll never see that horse again, I'll never see my Breyer horses, I'm so sad. But the one that I really was upset about was this specific one. So over the years, I've thought to myself, how can I get this horse back? I need to get this horse back because my grandfather spent all this money on these horses, and you know, I'm going through all the motions, and I go to this estate sale and this horse is at the estate sale. And I know some of you watching are probably like, it's just a horse, Gary, but at the time you have to realize, like, going kind of nutso trying to figure out how do I get to the city that I lived in at the time to contact this lady that I don't know who it is to see if she still has my Breyer horses after all these years and somehow get them back or get this specific one back. And so when I saw this one at this estate sale, along with the other things, I just knew it was a sign that my grandfather was like, this is not the exact color of the horse, but here it is. And so when I saw this there, obviously I had to buy it. And you know, this makes me so happy that I have him back in my life. So thanks, Grandpa. The other horse is this vintage horse. They had a few, but I'm like, I can't buy them all. So I bought this one. He's rearing up. When I walked in and I saw this horse, I started to laugh. The reason why I had laughed is because literally maybe 2 weeks prior, I had gone to a wedding and we went to a bunch of the shops that we don't have here. And in this one store, they had like a section for kids and toys and stuff. There was a black and white horse, and it was a Breyer horse, funny enough. And I walked up to it, I'm like, oh my gosh, for my spooky room, I could get this black and white horse, Mike. It's a Breyer horse. It's only like 20 bucks, blah, blah, blah. And as a joke, Mike was like, you don't need it. I'm like, oh, come on, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you don't need it. And I really didn't need it. I just kind of wanted it. And so I put it down and I forgot about it. Well, when I went to this estate sale, when I saw this, I laughed and I was like, see, I knew you guys wanted me to get this black and white horse for my spooky room because it brings me so much joy. I'm so happy that I got it. So, and I kind of wanted to rub it in Mike's face to be like, see, I should have got the other Breyer horse because then I wouldn't have gotten this one. So the next thing is really quite cool because the whole reason that I went to this estate sale was to find more pictures for my spooky wall, right? And I wanted old pictures, like old pictures of people who have passed away in like the 20s and 30s and even older than that. And it's really hard to find these pictures unless you go to like an antique store where they probably are, and then they charge them, and it's like a big deal. But at this estate sale, and I'm gonna hold my hand here so that I can keep like some privacy, but I found this old picture of it's actually a graduating class, and it's dated 1927, and it's just a picture of all of the people that had graduated that year. It's definitely the original print. More than likely, none of these people are alive anymore, and I want them to live on my spooky wall. So I thought this was really cool. Another thing that I got that really isn't of importance, but it's black and white, so it's gonna go on the spooky wall, is this little dart. On the back it's like this, and on the front it's like this. I just thought this was cool. They had a ton of other ones, but this one I just really liked the most. And so there was no real backstory with this. I just liked it, and I wanted to take as much stuff out of the house that I could utilize. So I wanted to give this little dart guy a good home, and he's gonna go on my spooky wall. So the next couple of things are kind of all in the same realm. I believe these are cigarette trays, and this one says Pisces and this one says Taurus, which is really cool. These are from England, and the owners of all of this stuff were very German, and I believe they probably had some Dutch, because they did have some Dutch stuff in their home. I love astrology, right? And I love that kind of stuff. So when I walked in and I started to see this stuff trickling around in the house, I was like, am I in my place? Like, okay. And so another tray that I found that I wasn't gonna buy at first, but I'm like, you know what? It has to have a home because no one's gonna buy it, is it's a little Pisces little tray. It's just this little like Pisces tray. And I always assume that the wife was the Pisces and the dad or the grandpa was the Taurus. I don't know why. I don't know if this is true, but I just feel in my heart that that's what they were. This is a little like plate, and it's from Heidelberg, Germany. And I've always wanted to go to Heidelberg because of Heidelberg Castle. It's beautiful history there. Never been overseas. I've never even been on a plane. So someday I'm gonna go to Germany, and I really wanna go to Heidelberg. I got one of their they had this little Dutch shoe, and again, I have Dutch heritage, so when I saw the little shoe, I'm like, oh my god, a little Dutch shoe, that's so cute. The next couple of things, there are kind of spooky and kind of like an oddity a little bit. Like I said, everything kind of like correlates to what I've been wanting for either up until that point, that week ahead, or like maybe 3 weeks ahead, or even a month ahead before I went to this estate sale. So one of the items that I really wanted was a bell, because I wanted to use this bell, because I had this idea in my head, I got a thought in my head where something had told me, get a bell so that you can call upon, you know, spirits, like positive spirits, to come into your home when you need them, like calling your ancestors in to help you. And I went to the estate sale, and I'm looking at the table, and mind you, they had stuff everywhere. It was crazy. They had stuff everywhere. And I look at the table, and guess what's on top of the table? A bell. Now, sure, coincidence, maybe. So I got this bell. It's a beautiful bell. I love it so much. And then another thing that's, I mean, it's pretty simple, but like I've been thinking about wanting to get this. And I went to a store to possibly buy one. And then when I got there, something told me, don't buy that one, just wait. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna see where this leads me. And it is just an incense holder. So I've been wanting to burn incense more, because I used to do that back in the day. I love the smell of incense. I wanted to buy one of these holders where you put the incense. And when I walked in there, I saw there were 2 of them, and I was like, of course they have all this other awesome stuff that I've been wanting for the past like month-ish, and of course it's here. I don't want to dump it because it's got ashes on it, but it's really cool. It's got these little diamonds in it. The really pretty one. So who knows, honestly, how old this is. Either way, I love it. I'm never getting rid of it. It's mine. The one thing I kind of wanted was a witch's broom, because I wanted to display it on the wall. And so I went to a few stores, like Halloween, Spirit of Halloween, when they were here in town. I was like, okay, I'll go there, I'll look. But they were all kind of like kiddish and little tchotchke looking, like, ugh. And I just didn't like them. And then I saw another one somewhere else. I'm like, I just don't like the way that looks. So now, mind you, this estate sale was a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Your girl went all 3 days, because that's how good it was. So Saturday when I walk in, and I'm walking in there, and I look around the corner, and what was just chilling in the corner? A witch's broom. Like, you can't, I don't even know what to say with this. When I saw this, I was like, I wish I could have met the people that lived in this house, because the fact that like they have all of the odd things that I've been wanting for the past month, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like their spirits, if they had passed on, like somebody was pulling me to go there, because there's like, how do you think of like, oh, I want a witch's broom, and then you turn around the corner to some random house and it's there? That never happens. So I got this broom, which I'm definitely going to either just set in the corner or hang it up. I'm not sure yet, but I'm really excited about it. The next two things are really cool because they had a ton more, but I tried to contain myself because I don't need them all, because then I wouldn't know where to put them all. Since this family, or these two individual people that lived in this house, were very German, they would go to Germany quite a bit. They started this collection of these little wooden figurines, and these are from Germany. I don't know where in Germany, but the first guy I got, he's got his little fishing pole, and he's got his little, you know, his little pipe and his little basket. And the reason I got this one is because I'm like, oh, that one reminds me of Michael, like the beard, like it's Mike, like okay. And then I got this little guy because he kind of looks like Santa, and I think it's supposed to be a Santa. He's got his little pipe, his little bird, he's got his little toy on the back with another little bird, and I wanted him because he kind of looks like Santa, and they're just, and they're really cute, and they have the original, he's got the original little tag on there, it's all in German. I just love these. They had a ton of these, but I picked these two were the ones that called to me the most, and so I just got these ones. Again, very cool, and they have such a good home. Going off of the incense thing, I found some more of their incense, and they are actually these old Zodiac signs, like incense. And on the back, the date is 10/15/1978. So will I actually light these? Probably not, because they're probably expired and really gross maybe. I'm not sure. I guess I didn't really look inside. Oh, they actually smell kind of good. So they just look like that on the inside. They all have, you know, the Zodiac signs all on the around, and I just thought it was kind of quirky that this old couple had these, because again, you have to realize that like astrology and spiritualism and that type of stuff back in the day was taboo. Like you could not express yourself in this fashion and you would be prosecuted and you would be called like the worst things in the world. But nowadays it's being more accepted into mainstream media, and so now it's like it's not that big of a deal, but like back then it was kind of a big deal. So the fact that they had this stuff makes me wonder, like what were they really into? What was their life? Did they have to hide this stuff, or were they able to say whatever and fully express themselves? And so when I saw these, I was like, okay, obviously I gotta get those too. Like this is unheard of to find Zodiac stuff in an older couple's home like that. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna keep these forever. So the next two items I got were the catalyst and the main reason why I went to this estate sale, right? And it was two Raggedy Ann dolls. Look at how cute they are. So these are like original Raggedy Ann dolls. You cannot find these anywhere. They're probably really sought after. This one I chose first for myself, and then the next day when I went back, this Raggedy Ann doll was there and I felt bad, so I bought her too. And this one I'm actually giving to one of my really good friends who was like really jealous that I got this one. And so I'm just really excited about these two Raggedy Ann dolls, because who knows where they would have went if I wouldn't have taken them. I mean, mine has a really good home, and this one is going to get a really good home too. This was the reason why I went to the estate sale to begin with. The next item is really weird, okay? Like this is where we're gonna get a little spoopy, if you want to call it that, or woo-woo. That Saturday, I had gone to my dad's house, and I was looking through all of our old family pictures, you know, of my grandma or his mom, you know, him, my dad when he was a little kid. I found this picture of them. Now, this was just, I just had the print. I didn't have the frame. I was like, oh man, this is cute. Grandma, it's my grandma, my aunt, and then my dad when he was little. I'm like, I want to put that in a frame. So I go to this garage sale and I'm looking through all of the frames. They had them all over the house and they had some in boxes. And I found this little frame and I was like, oh my gosh, that frame probably would fit the picture that I just got of grandma, my dad, and my aunt, and it probably would fit completely perfectly, right? And there was no picture in this frame when I got it. So I was opening the frame, and as I'm opening it, this is where it gets kind of like, this is wild. This is a sign. This is confirmation, you know? I'm thinking I'm gonna put my grandma in this. I'm thinking about my grandma hardcore. Grandma would be extremely excited if I put her in this frame. And I open it up and there is something inside. And I'm like, what in the world is this? And I open it up and guess what it says? Yeah. I opened it up and it says, I love you. You know, I was holding the picture of my grandma in my hand and I just thought to myself, this is an obvious sign that she is with me and that she wanted me to do this and that I was supposed to go to this house. You just don't open a random picture frame shoved at the bottom of somebody's estate sale box and you'll see that in there. You know what I mean? So I like to think that that was her saying, I'm with you, I love you, you were supposed to to find all this cool stuff at this estate sale. So I keep this one on my desk and that's where it's gonna go. The next few items are really cool because there's, again, a tie with my grandpa or my family in some way. So they had tons of jars of marbles. But the reason why I bought these and the reason why marbles are such a big like thing with me is because they remind me of my grandpa. As kids, my grandpa had marbles and we would play with these marbles all the time because he just had them. Like those were the toys that we played with marbles. And he had this really cool wooden marble thing, ladder that he made, and you would put the marble at the top and it would clink, 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 clink all the way down, and all of the marbles they're just beautiful and you don't find marbles anywhere. And so when I saw the marbles, I was like, I see you, Grandpa. I see what you're doing. So I had to buy this glass of marbles, and obviously this is like a little cute little jar, so I'm gonna put it in a cool spot on my bookshelf over there. And then the next thing is this little horse. On the bottom, I believe it says 1958, and it's this rubber horse. I wanted to get this little horse because it reminded me of my dad, and my dad has some toys from when he was little, and they are in a specific case that is in his house, and this just reminded me of that, and so I decided to get this little guy, and he's really cute. And the next three things are these old books. They had tons and tons of old books. I'm talking early 1900s books. So the first book is Easy German Poetry. It's a full book in German. I can speak a little German, but I'm not obviously fluent. Just looking at it, it's just so cool. But it was from a public school, so that's kind of funny. The next book is called The Cuckoo Clock. In the front, it says, To Dear Helen, with love from Aunt Marie, Christmas 1901. Obviously, I had to get this. It's a beautiful old book. It outlasted the test of time. It's still here. 1901. Can you imagine? Like, just think of the history. Think how many people have read this book. Think how many people have like put their hands on this book. Think how many people carried this book with them to school or to wherever. Just think of all of the people that had this book, and now it's 2023. And the last book is, I just had to get this because I thought it was cute. It's called Furry Friends, and it is just an old book. It says somebody wrote 1886. 1886. I just looked at that right now. So I got these, obviously I got these 3 books because they're old and I wanted them. Back to the Raggedy Ann dolls. And that's the crazy thing. It's like I've recently wanted a Raggedy Ann doll, and then when I saw the pictures on Facebook where they were advertising this estate sale, I was like, perfect, there they are. And then they also had these 2 little ones. They had actually a whole room that was full of Raggedy Ann dolls. I saw these 2 little guys. Well, first I went in and just bought this one, and then when I went back the next day and I saw nobody had bought the little matching set, I thought, okay, I gotta get both of them. So I got these 2 little tiny little Raggedy Ann dolls, and they're so cute. Like I keep saying, this whole estate sale had so many things in it. Like this jar of skeleton keys. Like, cool, right? I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but like, who can say they have a jar of skeleton keys in 2023? Nobody. Actually, me. I have no idea where they would have gotten this, but I was like, okay, this is mine. So I got this jar of skeleton keys. This next item is so cool and definitely reminds me of my grandfather, and it is a cuckoo clock. I'm trying to hold this very gently because I don't want it to break or I don't want to drop it. When I walked into this house and I walked into the back room, this couple had cuckoo clocks all over the walls. There was not just 1 cuckoo clock or 2 cuckoo clocks. There were tons of cuckoo clocks. Obviously they weren't all on at the same time because they would have just went crazy, but they all worked. They all are from Germany. I've always wanted a cuckoo clock. My grandfather had cuckoo clocks, and so it reminded me of my grandfather. So when I saw this, I didn't care how expensive it was. I just wanted one. So I bought this one, and I haven't set it up yet because I don't really know where I want to put it yet, but I'm definitely putting it in my spooky room on this wall. I'm just so excited. Like, nobody finds cuckoo clocks anymore, and who knows how old these are, but it's definitely from Germany, and I'm just really excited about this. So, cuckoo clocks. On the 3rd day, obviously it's an estate sale, so they marked everything as 50% off. And so when I walked in for the last day, I thought to myself, if there is still more cuckoo clocks on the wall, I'm gonna buy another one. And so I did. I bought this one. It's beautiful. It's a lot smaller than the other one, but I wanted it because of the color. The leaves are a lot lighter, and it's just so beautiful. And it says on the bottom, made in Germany. They're all made in Germany. The little cuckoo bird is in there. there, I got this cuckoo clock and I absolutely love it. Keeping up with the clock theme that I have going on right now. Like I said, my grandfather had a lot of clocks in his house, also had big clocks. And so when I saw this one online, I thought to myself, I need that clock. And so it's this beautiful clock. I'm gonna be very gentle with it because I don't wanna break it. It works. Apparently I didn't try it yet, but honestly, even if it doesn't work, I really do not care. I love the sound of an old clock ticking and the dinging of the bell, and it just brings me back to a time in my childhood when things felt good. You know what I mean? It's like right before you turn into an adult, things get kind of crazy. Back in the day when I was little and I'd hear clocks, I'm like, oh yeah, grandpa. And so when I saw these clocks, I was like, okay, grandpa, you're obviously here. So obviously I got this clock. The last clock that I got, because I got 4 clocks in total because again, I'm just a clock whore now apparently. The one clock I wanted for the past like month that I kept getting ads for were the old cat clocks. The eyes move back and forth when it ticks, and the tail also moves. Always wanted a cat clock like that, but obviously they're vintage and they're very expensive if you get really nice ones. And so the past month I've been getting ads for this cat clock. So I looked at the ads, and the thing is when I looked at the reviews were like, don't buy this clock. It's just a cheap clock that they remade to look like the cat clock, and it doesn't flippin' work, so don't waste your money. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna not buy this cat clock and I'm just gonna leave it. I guess I'm not gonna get a cat clock. So I go to this estate sale, and guess what's on the wall? A cat clock. Though his tail and eyes are wagging really good right now because I'm holding him and moving him around. When this guy is hanging on the wall, and I'm gonna actually go put him, hang him back on the wall, but look at how good he's doing now. Is it because he's tilted? Okay, well I'm gonna go hang him back up on the wall, but he does work. Look at how cute he is in this. I'm looking at him in the screen. He's so cute. He's up there, now he's working really good. Maybe he just needed a little like shake me up. Not sure. So basically when I got the cat clock home, it only takes 1 AA battery. I put the battery in, it worked really good just like it is now, and then all of a sudden it started to die off where the tail hardly moved, the eyes hardly moved, and I thought to myself, maybe it's just old. Maybe the battery is bad. So I put a new battery in. Same thing happened. Put a new battery in, put it up on the wall just like it is now. Tail's moving good, eyes are moving good. But then after about 30 minutes, it would hardly move and the eyes would hardly move. Well, then this past Sunday, I did an Instagram live, and in this live, I was doing tarot card readings because I want to get better at it. I have the cat clock on the wall. I have the camera pointed this way so you could see it. I get done talking about all the stuff that I need to talk about, and then I was moving into the tarot card readings. And as I picked the person to do the tarot card reading for, and I started talking about, okay, now we're going to be doing the tarot card readings, the cat clock started to magically work. The tail was moving, the eyes were moving back and forth. It was so creepy and weird. Someone was like, the cat clock is working. It wasn't even moving before. Now it's like going crazy. And I looked back and I was like, well, spirits are here, I guess, so let's do this tarot card thing. It was a wild experience, and there was no reason for it to do that because it wasn't moving beforehand. It wasn't moving hardly before even that, and now it's working. So it's probably going to work, but then maybe towards the end of the video it'll stop. I'm not sure what it's gonna do. Maybe it just needed a little shake up. Anyways, let's move on to the next item. So the next little thing that I got are these 101 Dalmatian little glass little dogs, and the sucky part is when I was waiting in line to check out, I dropped this one on the ground and I broke this little guy's tail off and his little foot, and I was so upset because these are obviously vintage Disney little 101 Dalmatian dogs, and so I was so upset, but I didn't want to not buy them because, you know, they need to be together. So I feel like I'm gonna just get some Gorilla Glue or something and glue his little tail back on, his little foot, and we'll be all good. But I thought these were really cute, and I bought them because it's black and white, and I do enjoy 101 Dalmatians. So got these little dudes. The next 2 items are kind of funny, and the owner had a bunch of Beanie Babies, and obviously I have Beanie Babies and I've had Beanie Babies as a kid, and they had this Princess Diana bear, and the reason why it's so funny is because when Princess Diana had her, it was either the 20th or 50th anniversary of her passing. It was this past year, so she was in the headlines a lot. This bear, everybody was looking for this bear because of that, and I remember being like, oh, Dad has this bear somewhere in his house. I should go to his house, find the bear. I was gonna make a whole YouTube video on it. I was gonna do like a whole video on like Princess Diana and like the bear and the whole thing. So when I went to his house, he didn't have it there. And I was like, well, what the heck? Where did it go? So I was like, well, I guess that video idea is in the trash. And then when I went to this estate sale, lo and behold, there it was. was. I was like, again, Grandpa? I get it. So now I have Princess Diana bear that I'm gonna keep for the rest of my life, and I love her. The next item is kind of spooky, and it actually was not from this estate sale. There was another estate sale in my area the same day or the same weekend as I went to this estate sale with all this stuff. And I did not know the owner of this estate sale's house. I had no idea who this stuff belonged to. I just knew that this estate sale was going on because I saw the signs. Went to this estate sale and it was on a Sunday, so most of the stuff was already picked through. I went into the basement and I found this little broom, and this was on the person's like workbench, so they would use this to scrape, to, you know, wipe away their work stuff like wood shavings, metal shavings, nails. And the only reason why I picked this up is because, oh, I'm gonna put this on my spooky wall. I really wanna put this on my spooky wall. Well, the weirdest part about this that was kind of like, whoa, my sister had looked up the owners of this house where this came from, and here the house belonged to a person who had passed away that is related to one of my cousins, but he wasn't related to me because it was on a different side of the family. First off, that's wild. But then the craziest part is when this person had passed away a few days later, we went to his grave site because it's in the same cemetery where my grandparents are buried, and we were visiting him, and I recorded a video there. I haven't gone through the footage and I didn't know if I wanted to post it, and that house was this guy. I didn't realize that the investigation that we did when we were trying to connect with this man was the house that I walked through and went into the basement and found this little broom and was like, I want this broom, and came home and I had no idea. So the connection there was wild and makes me wonder, was he actually reaching out now, wanting me or wanting us to go to his house and like take some of his things? Did he want to be part of the spooky wall? Because this is going on my spooky wall. I'm gonna put it up there. But like, how crazy is that? It blows my mind, because what are the chances of that? Like, I don't know what to say. Weird, right? So this is gonna go on my spooky wall. And to close this video out with the last item, the first estate sale that I went to brought me so much joy. It opened up so many doorways and things in my mind, and confirmation that like my grandparents are hanging out with me all the time, and that this stuff is something that I need to keep doing. And I wanted to honor the people that lived in this house, because just by looking through all of their beautiful items and things, I can just tell that they were awesome people, and they would have definitely been my kind of people. I wanted to honor them. They had a picture of the house with their last name in the corner, and I saw this the last day and I thought, I need to buy this. I want to put this on my spooky wall, because then I will always remember that this house, and going to this house and getting all of these beautiful items that I've wanted or thought about, or that they reminded me of my family that has passed away, brought me so much joy and comfort, and made me realize that like it's okay to be spooky and weird and like love all this stuff, and to express it in the way that I want to, even on a public platform. And I just wanted to honor them by hanging this up on the spooky wall, so that every time I look at it, I just get reminded of this moment in time and how happy I was being my full authentic self. I got this picture of their house. I hope you got enjoyment out of all the items that I bought, because I get enjoyment out of all of this stuff just by looking at it and having it around me. Make sure you like, leave a fun comment below, subscribe, because we have more days coming, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.